Let's turn back to the breaking news out of the Donald Trump campaign. CBS News has confirmed that Mr. Trump has chosen Indiana Governor Mike Pence to be his running mate. The two are expected to appear together at an event tomorrow in New York City to officially announce the Trump-Pence GOP ticket. Hogan Gidley is a CBSN political contributor and a former senior communications advisor to Governor Mike Huckabee, and he joins me now by phone. Hogan, so what was your initial reaction when you first heard the news?
Well, first of all, I couldn't believe they leaked it a day early. But look, it's good news for Donald Trump. I mean, what he obviously wanted to do, I think, was try and backfill some areas that he is lacking, and that obviously is government experience, which Mike Pence has a ton of. He wanted someone that seems a little bit more calm and measured to kind of bring along some of the more establishment types into his camp for fundraising purposes, and also for just to stop some of the hemorrhaging on negative comments from some main members of the GOP. So I thought that was smart on his part. Pence is a solid pick. I'd probably give it a B, a solid B minus. It's not going to blow anybody away, but it's not going to damage him either. I was looking on Twitter. It's funny because so many conservatives, half of them are out saying what a horrible idea. The other half are saying this is the best idea ever. And all along the ideological conservative spectrum, some far right saying it's horrible, some far right saying it's great. I mean, you're expected to have your own opinion, and you're expected expect those opinions to vary because you see different deficiencies in Trump, and you want those deficiencies to be filled in by different candidates. So everyone's going to have their own reaction. But I think the Trump team did a good job vetting somebody and picking somebody who's going to help the ticket.
Well, Hogan, let me ask you about that because conventional wisdom would say that this choice would excite social conservatives. Give us an understanding of why some might not be excited.
That's the interesting part. He's going to be in the crosshairs of both social conservatives and Democrats. And so Democrats are coming out and saying that he completely tried to take away a woman's right to choose. He completely stood up for LGBT stood against LGBT rights. But social conservatives are on the other side saying, no, wait a minute. This guy had a chance to stick tough on LGBT rights, stick tough on abortion, stopping abortion, and instead he rolled on those issues. So a lot of social conservatives say Mike Pence is weak. So there's going to be an interesting argument on both sides for Pence and the Trump campaign because they're going to be getting it from both sides. Democrats are going to be attacking him as too far socially right. A lot of social conservatives are going to attack the pick as too far socially left and weak on some of the core issues of social conservatives, not to mention things like Common Core and issues like that Pence is an advocate of. So those types of issues are going to be tough for him to navigate. But again, he stabilizes a ticket, I think, that to many on the outside viewed as unstable. And so I think Trump accomplished what he wanted to accomplish overall here.
So would then choosing a Governor Chris Christie or Newt Gingrich over Mike Pence, would that lead to more instability? In other words, why pick Pence over those two guys?
Well, look, I like Chris Christie. I really do think he's talented. I think he's a good debater. But at the end of the day, that's just two Yankees yelling at us. And at that point, we need to. I'm gonna let my Southern come out a little bit.
Yeah,
you need someone that's a little bit calmer, a little bit more affable, a little bit more, not as brash and bawdy as those two gentlemen. Although again, I love Christie. Gingrich would have been an incredible pick. He's from Atlanta, from the South. Again, amazing debater, has abilities. And what's interesting about Gingrich, which I think I lean more towards Gingrich on the choice because Gingrich has offered full-throated endorsements and support for Trump even in tough times. And he's going to have to, the conventional wisdom is Trump is going to make a few comments between now and November that are going to be somewhat controversial. And he's going to have a vice president who undergirds, not erodes, the Trump position. And Gingrich has done that really without fail from the beginning. So regardless of what I would like to have happened, again, I think Huckabee would have been an amazing pick, someone who was a governor who understood government, but also got the religious right shored up for sure, and that was one of the criticisms against Trump early on. Regardless of all of those things, the pick is now made. It looks like it's going to be Pence, and I do think it's a solid pick.
Hogan, I want to get your take on this. Former Obama senior advisor Dan Pfeiffer just tweeted this out, and I'm going to quote for you. Quote, "Things I am sure of. Trump knows less about Pence than the media or the Clinton campaign. 2, he has no operation set up to defend Pence." What would you say to that, given some of the things that you and I have just been talking about?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look, let's be honest. Trump has not run a conventional campaign from the get-go, and that's been extremely helpful to him in many aspects. But as we all know, it's also hurt him in some aspects. And you've got to be able to have rapid response on a national scale for when when Hillary Clinton attacks you as the nominee and Donald Trump, but also who attacks your vice presidential pick in Pence. But I think that's what Pence will bring to the table. Some knowledge and know-how of how an embracing of the non-traditional campaign that Trump has established, but then setting up some more traditional methods to get message out and also offer some protection to the front runner, too, and also advance on your opposition, Hillary Clinton and whoever she picks. I do have to laugh. I saw a tweet. I don't remember who it was by, but you know what? It was from Karen Tumulty. And it was so funny because she said, "I can't wait for a Pence and Tim Kaine debate. Boy, talk about sizzle." So it's two very boring potential people coming out and debating. But look, again, the pick is solid. I'm impressed that he went with somebody to fill a void that Trump clearly has, which is no government experience. He has someone now that has experience in Washington and experience at the executive level, and that is very important.
Just for our viewers, of course, Karen Tumulty is the national political correspondent for the Washington Post. So the reason I was asking that, Hogan, is because we've also seen a tweet from Governor Pence resurface who said back in December, quote, "Calls to ban Muslims from entering the U.S. are offensive and unconstitutional." So I think that's perhaps what Pfeiffer was tweeting about, that the campaign may have to answer for some of these policy decisions, some of these tweets or whatever, what have you, that Governor Pence has made in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that we've that's another reason I thought it was a good pick, but I'm not giving it an A, because some of those folks in the past have said some things about Donald Trump that are very difficult to square with now. And this is something that Huckabee used to say all the time on the campaign trail, which was, if I say something negative or nasty about these guys now, then how am I going to defend it in a few weeks if I don't win the nomination? I have to stand up and say how great this guy is and how he's the best thing ever. So one minute I'm telling you he's unfit to be president, and the next minute I'm telling you he's the best thing since sliced bread. How do you square yourself with that? That's why we refuse to go negative on other candidates. But even Pence, in the time of endorsing Cruz, said really great things about Donald Trump. So, I mean, he kind of has a reputation of somewhat being a waffler every once in a while, and that's something he's going to have to square himself with. But again, the main issue for me, you're going to have an apparatus, you're going to have a team in place now that can begin to beat back some of this negative, nasty stuff about you and some of the negative, nasty stuff about Trump. And that's what this campaign has sorely missed up until now.
All right, CBSN political contributor Hogan Gidley, we thank you as always, sir.
Thanks, man. God bless.
All right.